Rachel Feinstein, how are you?
Good to be here, you guys. This is very exciting.
Thank you. Is this Rachel Feinstein's year? Yes or no?
I hope so. I don't know. I'm usually just muttering weird self-hate, thoughts of self-hatred in my head, so I don't internalize anything positive.
So no matter like how much you go forward in your career, you always like this could just drop at any minute. Because I feel like we all kind of have that a little bit. Like,
yeah,
you get this gig and more recognition and this kind of stuff that's coming at you. But in the back of your head, you're like, don't let go.
Oh, yes, completely. Yeah. I mean, it's always like, no matter what I get, I find some new fun-loving ways to minimize it. Like they only gave it to me because of this reason or whatever it is. Yeah. And then as soon as I get the thing, like I'm going to do another Comedy Central special. And now as soon as I get it, then I just have these fantasies that of like where I want there to be a fire so I don't have to do it. I get a lot of fire fantasies. Like I'm not going to be able to do that. What in God's name?
It's going to burn down.
Yeah. It's going to burn down. Yeah. I'd prefer it does so I don't have to make a fool out of myself. Yeah.
That's like how kids wish for snow days.
You're
like,
right. Yeah.
Oh, there's a test tomorrow. Just let it snow. Please, please, please close my school.
Exactly.
But it is.
I like that.
That's like what adulthood is. It's like, and especially if you're working for yourself as a comic, you create all the homework you did. Like you could have said no to that and just not had another special, but you're like, no, I'll do that homework. That's cool. I'm sure there'll be a fire sometime.
I mean, things are working out. You alluded to, you already have one Comedy Central half-hour special.
Mm-hmm. Two.
Are you proud of that?
I've done two of them.
You have two, see?
I mean, yes and no. Yeah, I like that I did it. That's cool. It's hard to watch yourself. You just see the little things you could correct. But I'm glad that happened. Feels good to say it. Was that good? I don't know. That was a mess.
Is that as positive as you can get?
Yeah. I don't know how you say, proud. It's not that,
Thank you all for coming to the screening. I'm good that happened. Take care.
I'm kind of glad this happened, you guys. That's like the best thank you speech. You win an Emmy and you go, I think I'm glad that happened.
I'm vaguely pleased that this occurred.
Last Comic Standing finalist.
Yes.
Are you glad that happened?
Yeah, that was fun. It's far enough behind me that, I can just say like that helped me get a lot of work. I got like a year of work off of that. It was weird because it's hard to be on a reality show and people write all kinds of shit. And I was reading everything online. And some guy named Mr. Twatwaffles was like furious at me. I still remember that. Mr. Twatwaffles just like at it every night. Like, God damn it, dumb bitch. I'm like, Twatwaffles, Jesus, again tonight?
What was he complaining about? You're just a bitch.
Didn't care for me. Just fat, a lot of fat bitch, fat this. That was just how Twatwaffles took people down. Clearly, that was just his MO. I tried not to take that part in. But he was just at it every night.
Do you have to check for a second? Now, you're thin. You're the opposite of fat. Do you get confused for a second? Like, did I, though, come off fat in that special?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, for a moment, Right. I did notice that I looked more at Twatwaffles' feed and I saw that was his thing. He called all the girls fat, so that was helpful.
And you're like, phew.
But thank God.
I had that where this one guy was just relentless. I'm just like, why are you up my ass? Like, why are you even listening to me still? It's not like I was on his TV station. I am the girl of a show that's called Keith and the Girl, and he's just at it with me. And then, like you said, I checked his feed and he's at Chris Gethard and at other friends and stuff. And I'm just like, oh, and you have 2 followers. What the fuck am I doing paying any attention to you?
I know, it's so insane.
Yeah.
Somebody wanted me dead, and then I saw they also wanted Martin Scorsese dead.
Some people just get up and that's what they do. Yeah. They wish people death and they call all the women fat and they take themselves as like a sweet nap and I think they feel good for the day. They've gotten a couple things off their list.
They're glad that happened.
Yeah, and the more horrific the name, it's like I should relate that to, that should be how seriously I take the possibility that I am fat. Like if Joey Do or Die 6969 calls me fat, maybe I'm not.
Right.
Someone with a more reasonable handle calls me fat. Maybe I should explore it.
If you want to hurt Rachel's feelings, you got to be more subtle. You're right. Are you gaining a few? Something like this.
Something to consider.
When you go extreme, we can't take you seriously. That's all.
Yes.
You'll be in Amy Schumer's upcoming movie, Trainwreck.
Yeah. I'm really excited about that.
Look at this.
Is this your first feature?
Yeah. No, I did like a little thing in Top 5 and a couple of other like independent films. But this is like, the biggest thing I've ever done in movies. Like this, I think Trainwreck is going to be a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm already seeing the posters and stuff.
It's going to be insane, I think. Yeah.
What was it like on set? Did you have a trailer?
Yeah, it was really fun. I'm in one scene and I play a nurse and I'm in a scene with Amari Stoudemire. And he was super fun. He wants to be a Jew. He's a character. He's a fun guy, Yeah, he's just like, he has all these different Jew tattoos. He's really into Jews. So
that's ironic.
Yeah, he just loves the Jews. And I have so little to provide, because people think that with my name, Rachel Feinstein, it's just such a browbeating of Jewry. They think I'm going to bring some kind of like ship of Jewishness with me wherever I go. And I'm not really religious. My parents weren't like, my mom converted. She's not even Jewish. Yeah, so I think that I didn't bring as much Jew as he had hoped for.
Look at this. This is the reason she thinks she was hired. She's like, obviously I was hired because I'm a Jew, but I didn't bring my Jew enough. Oh my God.
Well, for Amari. I mean, I don't know for Trait, not for Avital, but yeah, Amari is all about the Jews.
To be a nurse, do you have to, what do I hear? You have to you have to actually work in a hospital for like 3 months, right? Really get into character. Would you work on any patients?
No, I didn't get that intelligent about it. Yeah, it was a small scene, so I didn't do any research. I just went in there and they showed me how to handle different nurse equipment, and then there was a lovely nurse there to keep correcting me whenever I did whatever my dumb mangled version is of what they do. She would come in.
You don't pick up the scalpel from the edge.
Exactly, shit like that. Yeah.
Was she nice about it? That's interesting that there's a nurse there going, "Why would you hold it like that?"
Right.
Yeah, no, it's smart. Yeah, because we were shooting in a hospital, and so they could use the nurses there, and they would come up and show me how to hold the IV and where to put it in and what to do, and how to handle certain things. And yeah,
Rachel was messing with one of the IVs, and she goes, "Okay, and I am now drawing your blood, and there now I have your blood." And the nurse is like, "No, we never get it right the first time." Right? You have to blame the person's veins. Leave them with something black and blue.
And LeBron James is in it too.
Okay, right.
So my brothers were just completely obsessed, like everybody is. They all just wanted to ask me questions about LeBron and I was on set the same day that he was. So they kept making me try to take weird pictures of him, and he just catch me like glaring at him, trying to get an angle.
He's eating.
But yeah,
but you don't want to be like, no, it's not me, it's my brothers.
Right. I know. Yeah,
I'm not even interested in you.
Football. I don't even know what you do.
Yeah, they're completely on his dick. Of course, my brother had to when LeBron went to Cleveland the first time. He had a real emotional roller coaster with LeBron. He got real angry at him, when he left Cleveland, like so many guys. And then my brother, I remember he took a long walk, and he told me when he came back that he was ready to forgive LeBron. I'm like, you're a nebbishy Jewish social worker. Why don't you get on with your life? He doesn't know you exist.
Yeah, I have a friend. LeBron left. Fuck LeBron. He alluded that he would be part of this team forever. Don't say you're going to go to the prom with me if you knew you weren't coming. You could have said, I have a couple years, I'll see what I'm doing. You implied this was your city, you motherfucker. LeBron comes back to Cleveland. Hey, buddy, you're back. Yay.
But you know what? That's the relationship between so many people. It's like, I don't understand. You don't want to marry me. We were going in this direction. This is the only reason why I decided that I'm going to live with you. And then it's like, okay, how about we get married? Oh, well, he did put a ring on it, so now we can go for it.
You're right. It's a lot of screaming and whining. Like, why don't you fucking want to marry me? What's wrong? And then a lot of weeping, and then, okay, I have my ring. It's such an odd little thing, isn't it?
Yeah. Why don't you
put this
love
absurd
me?
thing on your finger and show it off in a whoring way in photos?
Yeah. Let's see. How much do I love my potential wife? No, not that easy, jeweler. Not that much.
No, but that's why. What was that company? Zales, I think, was like, here's how much you should spend, and apparently it's 3 months' salary.
Is it really?
They put that in a commercial.
Oh, wait, yes, I did see that. You're right. It's so disgusting. Yeah. I, for a long time, took all these pictures where I was holding the ring hand up, just with anybody. I'd find, some slovenly guy in a bar that was, falling asleep or something on himself, and I like to just do our just got married shot, And I collected them. I have a million with just the most worthless animals you could find. Because it makes me laugh. Yeah, the showing off. I had a ring on that finger. But there's something so disgusting about, my rock, look, I got him. It's just such a pig, I don't get it at all.
But if you get married, do you need one with all that talk?
No, I don't think I want it a big diamond or anything.
Right,
yeah.
Just a nice 2-carat simple.
Or whatever, or maybe nothing. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It just always looks sort of cartoonish to me. That picture where they show the hand, it's disgusting.
They always have to scratch their face,
Yeah.
Oh, this?
I always felt like I was disappointing people because when I got engaged, I didn't want the ring either. I wanted what we did is we got rings that fit into each other, and we wore each other's rings until the ceremony where we switched it, and at that point we had it engraved. So when people found out I was engaged, they're like, let me see the ring. I'm like, it's not what you're looking for, but here it is. It's like, this is the thing.
It has some meaning. It's not just some disgusting nonsense like that. Yeah.
But they do get disappointed when it's not a diamond. I mean,
Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah.
It's so you're so unique. Bye.
And you know what else? I feel like my engagement story, I fucking love it, but I feel weird. Like people go, oh, tell us the story. I tell the story, and the story is so long because I only tell the beginning of it until, you know, the question was actually popped.
Right.
And they're like, okay, that's enough. We didn't know it was going to be like awesome. And, you know, you should like, usually you hear like people fight right before they get engaged. Like somebody's annoyed by
somebody
something.
thinks the person's not going to ask them to marry them on that trip. So they're just sitting there in Cancun like, you motherfucker. And I don't want a last day. And they always tell that story like it was romantic. It's like, that's not a romantic dynamic. Yeah.
Yes.
So I was sitting there. I'm like, this motherfucker isn't going to ask me shit. And then he got down and he finally fucking did it. He's tired. He was furious and he gave me the thing. So we lived happily ever after.
I saw in the sock drawer all fucking week long. I don't know what he's pretending to do. At this restaurant I like to go to, the chef keeps telling me the story about how he proposed. And he's like, I'm a chef, so I put the ring in the cake. And she didn't think there was going to be a ring. Also, all day long, I was just pissing her off deliberately. She hated me. So she eats the cake and gets the ring. And I'm like, And she's like, oh. And then we're like, oh. And then I go, oh, yeah, the ring story with the cake. You pissed her off. You remember that? He's really impressed. Then he tells me again.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have a lot of married friends, but most of my married friends start with, she pissed me the fuck off. Why are we going to this place? And then it turns out it's the place they first kissed, and he's just trying to be romantic, but it's too close to her mother's house. And she's like, I don't want to see my mother. We're not going to see my mother. Why are you fighting so much?
You're right. There's always some simmering hostility in the tale. Yeah.
Because we want to go, hey, bitch, here's your ring. I knew the whole time.
That's great.
Now feel bad, because you got to start that relationship where they feel they owe you.
You're absolutely right.
You know what I mean?
That's what marriage is about.
Yeah.
It's about owing someone.
Speaking of hospitals, I saw this story.
It's what quiet resentments.
So you're ready.
I'm ready. I think you're right. I am ready.
A Virginia man was awarded $500,000 in a defamation and medical malpractice suit after he caught his anesthesiologist openly insulting him and mocking his penis while he was knocked out for a colonoscopy.
How did he know?
He set his phone on record.
Because he knew?
It doesn't seem like he knew something bad would happen. He just wanted to
curious.
record. Right, he was just curious.
I guess you're going under and you have like no say, so that's a great idea. It's like, why do you even call customer service without recording them? You know it's going to be a shit show.
Right. The patient had set his phone to record so he wouldn't miss the doctor's post-op instructions, but ended up taping medical staff joking that a rash on his dick was, quote, probably tuberculosis of the penis or penis Ebola.
Oh, my God.
Anesthesiologist.
I'm just offended they're not funny.
I'm also don't know why they would use penis instead of dick in that scenario. Like, if they're going to insult him, just penis and Ebola sounds so nerdy.
Well, they
just
are.
Go for dick Ebola.
They're medical experts, and penis is the biological name for it.
Here's a little bit of the guy's recording.
And really, after 5 minutes of talking to you in pre-op, I wanted to punch you in the face and man you up a little bit. So just make sure you're down.
I want to. So this woman, the anesthesiologist, she's saying
during pre-op she wanted to punch him in the face.
Punch him in the face. I guess the guy was annoying her for whatever reason. But
I'm sure you're very annoying before major surgery.
Right.
I'm sure you're just fucking asshole.
And so
do I get the red Jello? This is what he's probably asking her stupid questions about his parts.
After 5 minutes of talking to you in prenup, I wanted to punch you in the face and man you up a little bit.
Ugh.
Some lube on the floor. I want you to accidentally rub up against it. Some syphilis on your arm or something.
That'll be bad.
It's probably tuberculosis in the penis, so I'm sure you'll be all right. Just get a PPD in like a month, and then you'll take some INH and be fine.
As long as it's not Ebola, you're okay.
So if you see a reaction, next penis Ebola.
So Vicky?
Yes.
So you're gonna go talk to this patient afterwards, right?
Oh my God, it's my worst nightmare.
She belittled him for being afraid of IV needles and said, well, why are you looking then, retard?
What? Why? Look away?
I guess.
Then why are you looking at me?
But
why don't you take a picture? It lasts longer.
Where was this, Bayonne? What hospital?
It just says Virginia.
Oh, Virginia.
I'm not sure the hospital.
It's for lovers.
The medical malpractice charge, which accounts for $200,000 of the $500,000 award, came into play when the woman said, "I'm going to mark hemorrhoids even though we don't see them and probably won't." And she did write on his chart, "You have hemorrhoids."
Oh my God.
Just to do it.
She's just going to do that.
Yeah.
She thinks it's April Fool's Day, and this is hilarious.
I'm gonna act like he has hemorrhoids and he'll put cream back there for no reason. Ha ha.
Oh my God. How much did he sue and how much did
He got
get?
$500,000.
Good.
All right. I think he deserves it.
You can make fun of my pussy
not?
for $500,000.
Yeah.
In fact, I would volunteer. I'll just stand naked.
Sure. I would
You
do
could
it for
throw
10
tomatoes
grand.
at it. Right. Throw tomatoes at my twat. $10,000.
I would do it for a new air conditioner.
One of
You
those
can just
silent
make fun of
ones.
my twat for a good 2 hours as long as I get a nice new shiny air conditioner afterwards.
No, central air. Aim high.
You're right. That's from me to the medical community. Yeah. I don't know who I'm telling that. Well, who I'm bartering with right now.
I guess you don't go back to that hospital for anything, right? Hey, it's me, Ebola dick.
I'm pretty sure you don't go back to any doctors for the rest of your life and
Right.
just die of whatever happens and just have fun with 500,000.
It is making me wonder how, like, if that happens all the time. It's like, terrifying. Do you guys think it does?
Yes.
It must.
You do.
Yes, because this one guy recorded one thing.
And
You know?
and he hit the jackpot.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, oh, it's the first time I played the lotto. This is so interesting.
You're right. And whenever I've had to go under, I always get up and I just first think just how disgusting, what a sloven I am. I know that's not a word, but that's how I feel. I feel like a sloven when I wake up, just like, oh, what an animal, just a slab lying here. And you always feel kind of vulnerable and they have that peaceful look. But you're right. They put it on, I think, right as you're waking up. They look
Right.
at you like you're such a deer, but they've been laughing in your
Yeah.
dumb sloven face for the last hour or two.
They fixed their hair. Oh, here we go. Here we go. It's showtime. Hello. You did great doing nothing.
I remember I had to go under because I refused to do my abortion awake. And I'm crying. I'm just sobbing because this is like a terrifying, horrible experience to go through. And the nurses were like, wow, you're really upset about this.
Really?
Yeah. Wow, and I hear them talking. She's really emotional about this. And I'm like, what do people usually do before this? Like, usually there's like, cake and presents. And yeah, I'm terrified and I'm horrified at myself.
Were they nice to you? Were they
They were nice. They were just, it surprised me how surprising it was to them that I had emotions.
that you had emotion? That is
Yeah.
bizarre. That's very strange.
Yeah, although that particular doctor said that he has this one woman who she's up to like 9 abortions. She uses it as birth control.
Wow, sweet.
And
Tenth
so-
one's free,
God
right?
bless her.
Seriously. So I'm thinking like they're so used to people being so casual about it.
Right.
Yeah.
But fuck. I don't know how not like for, any kind of judgment. I don't know how you do that because I don't know how you can go through that.
Yeah.
And abortions are expensive.
I guess when it's 9, when you're at number 9 abortion, you're just like, yeah, you probably, it's just like another stop during your day. Yeah.
You start calling it abortion.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't. I guess you save money on the pills. So it all evens out.
That's true. That's like double parking for so long. And then by the time you get the ticket, you're like, oh, that's how much I would have paid for parking.
Could you tell, like, when you were waiting, were there like some people in there where you're just like, could you see like she's way up there? Like she doesn't give a she's not traumatized like I am. Like she's
No, I
she's
wasn't
sitting
at
there
a
eating
clinic.
Doritos or Pringles or something.
She's punching her own stomach.
No, I couldn't see beyond my own face because I think I just couldn't see beyond my own tears or beyond. I think I had planned to scan the room like, oh, who's pregnant, who's here for something else. I wanted to sort of tell if someone's in the same position.
Right.
But
you just were like too locked into what you were going through.
Yeah.
Was your partner with you?
Yeah.
But
They're not that
not
much
satisfying.
use. It really was the most dissatisfying, just like, wow, you're really not good at this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just keep bringing stuff from the vending machine.
Just, a lot of times, and unfortunately, I'm going to be like very, I guess, sexist about it. A lot of times guys don't know what to do in horrifying situations and they just kind of let you lead. And I didn't feel like leading. And so you kind of have to be like, no, this is fun. This is what you do now. And to make me feel
Yeah. Let me
good."
hand you your script to be of use or comfort to me.
And then we
Yeah.
tap
when
the
you're
head.
Yeah. Here, I take his wrist and then tap my head with his hand, like, there. You know how like when you're sick and you just want somebody to baby you and like,
Yeah.
practically carry you into bed and then ask you your needs for just a couple of days.
Yeah,
That's your script. Go.
of course.
Okay, so first thing I do what? Oh, I'm sorry. I had to make you a list. So not really.
The doctor in this hospital is just as bad as the anesthesiologist. You're able to hear a little bit. And the doctor said to his assistant, just say that we talked to him after. You ever get put out and then you're like, hey, what? Can I see the doctor? And they're like, oh, you already talked to the doctor. You forget. It's like, well, then have the doctor come back after this stuff wears off. Well, in this story, it's on tape that the doctor says to the assistant, let him know that we did talk to him. Just make it up and just say you don't remember. Now again, one time we happened to tape it, and this is what happens. I think I was being lied to also.
Let me tell you something. If other people were recording it and everything was on the up and up, we'd hear about those too. They were talking about how nice my liver was. It was really pleasant while I was opening. They're telling like intimate details about themselves because no matter what, they're chit-chatting. So no matter what, you would find that chit-chat very amusing and you'd hear about it.
Right.
But no, he did not just win the lotto. And if he did, he should play the lotto immediately.
The doctor is...
Where did that come from?
We know where it came from.
I was kind of like Dr. Johnson. But,
No, it's like people you're supposed to respect, but you don't. Officer,
right.
doctor,
So I picture this father. Picture one of them just saying like, oh, I saw the show last night, and the other person going, now is not the time. Come on, officer.
Right.
We have a job to do. So the doctor said, you know what, just make it up. And the assistant said, yeah, okay, another fake page. Whatever that means. That's a term, fake page.
I want these people to get fired.
Yeah.
I
Do you think they will? Are they? Yeah. What happened with that? Are they fired? Or are they?
Tell us, Keith.
How are they scolding them, Keith?
That I do not know. I do know Virginia is a one-party consent state, so the recording was admissible in court, if you're curious.
Nice.
Wouldn't that be something like not admissible?
Right. You were under. Who cares?
Right.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Is this a one-party consent?
I'm recording anyway, so we'll see.
I think New York is. I think California has an issue with it or something. I don't know.
Cool.
Man, it is. It's happening all the time.
Yeah.
It's gotta be.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Yeah. Oh, God, you can't trust doctors, which is such a scary thing. You can't trust doctors. You can't trust police. And they're like, but they're good doctors and good police. Well, I don't know what to tell you. If you're not disgusted by this also, in addition to the whatever good doctors and good officers you're running into, I don't know what to tell you.
New York, by the way, is a one-party consent state. So start recording everything.
Okay, babe.
Everything.
It's happening.
On your way here, what's this? You're in a car, right?
She had a headache.
You had a headache. You tell the driver that, because why not talk to him?
No, he overheard me on the phone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And how does he try to help you?
I was saying my head hurts so bad, and then and he drove for a moment. I didn't know he was listening to me, and then he just turns back, and then he goes, "You feel better, baby? Give your tiger balm, baby. Feel better, baby." Aww. And then he pulled over the car. It was very gentle. It wasn't really harassing of any sort. And then he put this, and I'm not trying to do a racist cab driver accent. That happens to be the accent that my cab driver had. All right, sorry. And then he started sort of gently massaging it into my temple. He just leaned back into the seat and he's like, "Tiger balm, babe, it's better. You feel better." And I just let the whole thing happen. I was like, fuck it. This is just going to be the play that's happening in my life right now. I had no will to, ask any questions. I knew there was something awry somehow. Like it wasn't supposed to be going down like this, but he did. And then he just got back on the highway again, or the roads, whatever. Yeah, he pulled over and then just administered the tiger, but all happened very fast.
Right.
Shh, baby. Shh, baby. He just kept saying that. Shh, baby, feel better. Feel better.
Does he say, no tip? You got tiger bomb, baby.
I gotta say, tiger balm is the shit.
He was a pleasing man. I don't even really feel like he was harassing me. I think he was really trying to, I think he was just trying to do his little soothing thing. That's what he had to offer people. I wonder how many times he does that. Like when people just complaining in the back seat.
I wonder how many men he does that.
You're right. Okay, good. Fine point.
I've taken a lot of cars.
I'm just saying, like, I didn't feel as soiled as I could have felt in that situation.
Right.
I felt like he was a kindly father character, and I appreciated it.
It would be funny if he catches you in the store and you're buying Tiger Balm. I told you, baby.
It worked so well. See? I had a terrible headache, and then he put it on and then he said that little baby thing, and I'm brand new.
Baby is part of it. So if you get Tiger Balm on your own,
I went to with somebody once. They were getting an abortion. I said, "You relax. I'll give you anything you want, baby." But I don't know if it helped. We'll see. Speaking of Amy Schumer, you were on the MTV Music Awards,
Yes.
right? You
Movie
did a
awards, yeah.
little skit.
Yes, we did a masturbation skit. The three of us. It's a really funny thing about all these women being in it was me, Nikki Glazer, Amy Schumer, obviously, and Bridget Everett.
Okay.
And so we all caught each other in the theater. Like we were all there to masturbate to 50 Shades of Grey or Magic Mike XXL. So we just came with like different toys, you know, and then Bridget just came with a dryer. And I had just like an assortment of gourds and squashes inside of a trench coat. Yeah, so we were all trying to kind of play it off like we were doing something. We were meeting someone there or watching some sort of intellectual film, but we were all just like blasting ourselves with strange, harsh objects. And then the film let out and everybody came out with like weirder and weirder things. It was so fun to watch like all the extras come out because they would have the most confusing things they were going to potentially stuff up their vag. I couldn't believe they actually let her do that. It was so funny. Whoa. One woman just came out in a horse, you know, but they were all like beat up and exhausted. But anyway, so and my mom saw the sketch. I had one of the most humiliating conversations I've ever had with her. Like she looks at my Facebook and tries to figure out what's happening in my life.
Right.
And she doesn't really understand how Facebook works. So one of the things, like recently she saw somebody posted on my page something about like someone needing an organ. I don't even know this guy. So she's like, well, your friend Michael needed an organ. So I sent him a $300. And I'm like, Mom, you can't be saying you're like a social worker. She used her money and she doesn't, I'm like, I don't even know if that's spam or who that dude is or what. Yeah. She just thinks anyone that writes on their wall knows me. And so she said, I sent him a lovely note and I said that I was your mom. And I'm like, this is terrifying. Stop it. She goes, and I also saw your very exciting and titillating masturbation video. That's what she called it, as if it was just me masturbating.
And it was titillating.
Titillating.
Don't use that word at me.
I know, it's horrifying. Yeah. And
I recommend why you shouldn't use vegetables.
A hairdryers. I don't tell that Bridget girl.
It's not
to
safe.
Call me.
So I wrote her a letter.
She goes, oh, it was very fun. We all watched it. She has this group of women. They started calling themselves the Circle of Sisters, and they take these little like women weekends together.
So cute.
I know. First they were called Circle of Sisters, then they were called Girlfriends. The names keep getting blacker and blacker, even though there's no one black in the group. Yeah, and they take these little excursions, and they have like a topic every weekend. Like it'll be like divorce or something, and they have some object, and when they're holding the object, they can tell their divorce tales. You know.
Oh my God! Can you ask your mom if I could be invited?
I can only imagine what happens at Circle of Sisters.
I would love it.
These bitches are off the chain. Like some of the shit she tells me, she comes back and she spills their secrets, and shit is bananas. Yeah. But they go away and they have their object, and they have like one subject, and so I think it was discussed in like the sexuality weekend at Rehoboth Beach.
And you came up?
No, I didn't come up.
Okay.
No, yes, the masturbation video came up. I thought you meant me.
Right.
I traveled to Rehoboth. But nothing's more terrifying to me than listening to anything my mom was saying in that house.
But it seems like she's supportive, and she's just like that.
She's so supportive, but it's still humiliating. Like they both are, but like they're almost too supportive. Like they came to see my show and they brought out like a bunch of people from their congregation. They're involved in some sort of congregation where you don't believe in God, but it is Jewish. But I don't know, some sort of weird like liberal non-Jewish.
I heard about that. People they want to keep with the traditions, but not with the religious part. So they're called like Jewish atheists or Christian atheists. Yeah, and so they have a reason to meet, but it's from these values of these thousands of years or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah. So she's in that. They're a nice bunch. I like the Jew atheists. They're on the right side of things. But they came out and they were all watching me, and I remember I was in the middle of saying mediocre hand job, and I just like accidentally caught my father's eyes, like really supporting me, just right there with me, and it was so traumatizing. Like you're just like, I'm listening and I'm behind you, and I'm just like, oh God, no.
Daddy's little girl.
Yeah, the last thing you want is your dad like spotting you while you're saying mediocre hand job, He was just like visually spotting me. It was horrifying.
So I was talking to your friend Twat Waffle, and he apologizes.
Are they funny? Because they seem like they have a great sense of humor. Do they also know how to?
My dad's really funny. I mean, without realizing it, like he's sort of odd and funny. But like when we were growing up, he does things now that I appreciate. When I was a kid, he was completely obsessed with royalty. He thought there was nothing funnier than that there was this queen, and he thought that was hilarious. So he was constantly like, rambling about what the queen might be up to and, what she was doing. She's got a very important ceremony today. We didn't understand why he was always babbling about the queen, but now I look back, I'm like, that is funny. Royalty is hilarious,
That was part of his skit.
Yeah, he didn't care for royalty at all. And he thought there was nothing more absurd and hilarious. And he's also a blues musician. And he also thinks that throwing up is really funny. I'm going to tie these three things together. But he was in a band when I was growing up called the Vomitones. And they they would play, they played at my school on multicultural night. Even though there were just like a bunch of white Jews from Bethesda. Right. But my dad sent in some sort of application to perform multicultural night saying that they were representing the rich heritage of Ghana. None of them were from Ghana, but he just thought that was funny, I guess. So they came in, the Vomitones played. They howl after they play songs. He likes to howl a lot. And howl and they mooned. My dad didn't moon. It was parents and teachers. So this obviously, but still this got around them. It's horrifying, Right. My dad didn't moon, but my mom said she was standing next to the principal while everybody else mooned. And they had like a wild fight that night. They had a lot of fights about his mooning, He didn't moon on that particular night, but she was just pissed that no one was supposed to moon. And
why didn't he moon on that night?
It's I'm glad you asked the question.
Oh, thank you.
He said it was because his butt was too sweaty and he didn't feel like getting up. Yeah, that was his lovely reason for not mooning. He said my butt was too sweaty and it was sticking to the piano and I didn't feel like standing.
Oh my God, I want to hang out with your parents so bad.
Now I look back and I think this is all funny. But when I was a kid, I was like, Dad, can Dad please stop mooning? And when he not howl all the time. He was constantly howling. And they had a tour of the Vomitones which just consisted of like 2 shit gigs in Michigan. Okay. Yeah, they called it a tour and they'd rev up for it every year. And they wore these T-shirts that said "Hands Across Uranus," and it was just like them with their asses out because they love to moon, Yeah, and he would go around. He was always excited for the Hands Across Uranus tour. There was a lot of energy around the house, and I'm just like, can Dad not wear Hands Across Uranus shirts when people come over? You know
how we say the saying "Hands across the earth." Yeah. So they went with the Uranus.
Yeah, it was bad. So his obsession with royalty and throwing up started turning into he became so obsessed with these two things that he started having these dreams where different people were puking on the Queen. And different blues musicians or civil rights lawyer leaders, because he was a civil rights lawyer as well. So he would narrate the dreams like really loud at night, and sometimes you just hear Dad yelling from his bedroom, like, "God damn it, Muddy Waters puked on the Queen," and he would always like narrate it like a sportscaster, like he worked at ESPN. 300 points for that. It's a beautiful play. Puked on during a very important ceremony. Got it right in her purse. That was beautiful. It was gorgeous. Yeah.
Don't hog it, BB King.
And the vomiting dreams went on for years, just years and years of who was puking on the Queen, and my parents would get in these loud fights, and my mom would come downstairs early for breakfast. "Your father kept me up with his goddamn vomiting dreams again." She was always just so angry about it,
This is the weirdest version of night terrors I've ever heard of.
Yeah, it's so
terrorizing
strange.
the whole house.
The whole house with his vomiting scenarios.
Do you ever think, maybe this movie takes off? And, you get a little more popularity, and maybe you can actually meet the Queen and convince her to throw up for your dad. Wouldn't that be like a dream?
That's my goal in life. That you just gave it to me. I just developed it this last few seconds.
But right into your purse, though, so you can
Oh, I'm humiliated, Dad.
Yeah, years and years, the Vomitones. But now I think all this stuff is kind of funny. But when you're a kid, you're just like, why? And my dad,
of course,
would send me letters. I went away to the sleepaway camp, and he'd send me letters, and he'd always sign them like, the Reverend Muhammad Shabazz, like Feinstein, YYX2L. Like he liked to put like a long code afterwards. And now I think that's so funny. But when I was a kid, I was just like, what is wrong with him? He's so deranged. It's so humiliating. Everybody else gets normal letters from their, and I get like Muhammad Shabazz, YX2L, deliver the message. He likes to write that a lot, like on the outside of the envelope, like the bird has landed, to his daughter at camp. And I'm like, fuck. He's completely insane. Oh, we have this other, sorry, I keep rambling. No. We have this other, so my best friend is best friends with, her dad was in the Vomitones too.
Okay.
And she lives in New York now. And we're roommates, but she's away right now. So I've been staying at my boyfriend's, but she's she is like a tattoo artist, and our parents are having this dorky, humiliating conversations like, our daughters live a life outside the box. They're always like saying stuff like that. That's really horrifying. But we always talk about vomitones, and we share our memories of being humiliated by it when we were growing up. And her dad is like a really prominent, he runs some big medical center. He's a doctor in South Carolina or something. And she said that my dad lately has been sending him these emails at work and signing them from a priest. And it's all about how he's just fucked 4 kids. He's completely exhausted, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And then sign father something, And then he's like, oh God, they shouldn't give us such access. It's exhausting, basically. And so her dad was he just called my dad, apparently, was just gently Howie, the email's hilarious, but if you could just send him to my personal email, we could really,
You could save me.
Yeah. Just, he's my secretary does see some of them. So he's especially all the priest fucking boys ones, just, go ahead and group them up and send them to my personal email instead. And my dad's famous for this because there's so many situations like this. My dad was like, David, I'm glad you told me that. That must have been hard to point out to me. And I appreciate your noticing those boundary issues that I had. Thank you so much. Must have been uncomfortable for you, but he likes to congratulate people when they point out he's been wildly inappropriate. And then he just continued to send him to the work email address. There's been no interruption in the stream of them, apparently. But that's happened a lot in our family. My dad will say something completely insane and somebody will take him aside and be like, you've shown a tremendous amount of bravery and grace, bringing up my inappropriate behavior to me, and go on doing exactly that thing.
Oh my God!
I should not have mooned the entire table. It was a nice restaurant and good for you. By the way, here's my ass again, and thank you.
So you didn't answer the question. Are they funny?
Sorry.
Just kidding.
I do. There is something very funny about the royalty in England. It's all ridiculous, and I picture the Queen being at her age, and she has horrible flatulence. She must. And
he and your dad would get along. He's got tons of stories about the Queen that we've heard about over the years.
Really?
Yes.
She's farting. You have to imagine, but then she blames it on the horses. It's nobody brings it up, and she goes, "Oh, did you all hear that?" And they're like, "No. I believe the horse is sick." And then they have to go out and they have to kill the horse, and they have to keep killing horses over this crazy bitch farting. And they're like,
they slay a horse a day.
Yeah. Very good. There should be no more farting, I would assume. Oh, boy, you got the wrong horse. We can't keep killing horses, Queen. I'm the Queen.
Yes, you'll murder a horse.
She says I'm the Queen a lot, by the way. I'm the Queen.
But there's kind of I don't know if your dad does such an incredible accent like Keith does.
Pretty good.
That was remarkable.
Well,
magic.
Very arousing.
I saw the changing of the guards, so I know what she's like.
But at some point, he's been telling Queen stories for years, and at some point, it just got so aggressively farty and loud.
She's older.
And his accent
changed.
His accent has deepened, so at some point the Queen turned into the Quan. Oh, I am the Quan.
You must kill another horse for the Quan. The farting of the horses. Okay, Queen, we can't. I'm the Quan. All right, thank you. Look at this, Rachel. Somebody's on the cover of the Stand-Up Comedy magazine.
Thank you. Did you notice that bottle's not open?
I did notice that, as a matter of fact. I asked Danny, I'm like, is that lid on that?
I'm such an asshole.
So it looks like she's in a club and just
drinking tequila, but the top is on it. I'm such a jackass. I'm taking a lot of risks here. With the top tightly fastened.
I want to mention this website for you guys, okay? It's touchofmodern.com. It's all the cool stuff. These people, they dress cool. They have cool stuff in their house, cool stuff in their office. Where do they get all these gadgets? Where do they get them? They get them from
the secret.
Yeah, this is the secret. They get it from touchofmodern.com. In fact, there's new items every day, just cool hip stuff. What did you see today, Hunter, that you liked?
I saw an iPhone 6 case. Now, I have an iPhone 5. And there must be a new phone coming up because my phone is starting to mess up, right? So there's got to be an update coming soon. And I always get thrilled that my phone is about to be destroyed at the time that I'm allowed a new phone for a smaller price. Anyway, so the iPhone 6 case, it has. You ever seen those wallet cases for the iPhone? But it looks heavy, and then I picture people talking on the phone with their wallet on the flip side of it. And so I never got it because I always think what if I just want to take my phone but not my wallet? But it's such a good idea because it's all the same. Anyway, this case, it protects you. I already have a case anyway. The case that I saw in Touch of Modern has a little sliding thing in the back, and it can hold 3 cards. And so I feel like that's a reasonable amount. It looks sleek still.
Right.
You can't tell that there's a back to it. So I just feel like it's that sleeker, more defined, more like Touch of Modern-y thing. So I'm going to get that as soon
That
as
was
I
like
get
the
my new
best
phone.
commercial ever. That was that was effortless. Did you really mean all those things? That was fascinating.
I swear to God, I looked through. I'm on their list,
They
and
should give you guys so much money because that was remarkable.
It is funny. You think
beautiful.
at the end of a commercial we can say, you know what? No, not that. I wasn't into that one. Hemda and I both shop at this site. Yeah.
It does seem satisfying. I agree. You were sold me completely. I'm buying it today. Clearly,
I'm on their mailing list, and I legitimately check the mailer every day because I've said this before. I use it as like a treat. You know, you're reading emails all day long. You're responding to, what you're supposed to, and then you give yourself a treat. Like, okay, let me look at my Facebook. Like, that's a treat. I understand. But, it like breaks up your day.
Yeah.
So my Touch of Modern email is one of the things that breaks up the day. Like, ooh, what fancy thing can I look at and like actually afford? Like, these things are like, that case is $15, but it's this like sleek. It actually works. If your phone falls, like, it's not going to break, and it has that compartment that I've been looking for. So $15, are you joking?
You don't have to be the Quan to afford these deals. Touchofmodern.com. That's touchofmodern.com. Go there, and remember, all the sales are changing. Go there every day. There's a new specials, new things every single day. That's how life rolls in the fast lane. We put up this poll. You know how we put up polls on the forums in relation to something we talked about on a show. The Confederate battle flag was the poll, and here are your choices: yes or no.
no.
There you go. One person.
I knew it would be one. I knew it would be one.
One person says yes.
Really?
One. Now,
Who?
when I don't know, it's anonymous, so that I get the truth out of people. But when you see you're the only one that's still into the Confederate flag, do you think I could be wrong, or do you go, everybody doesn't know? To me, it just stands for art.
Do you think
I don't believe a single person that says that. Like, they're not
Right.
that dumb. They know what it means.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't you think it's one of the motherfuckers on our forums? And I'll name them. Ready, everybody? Could it be Scummo or Piffle?
It could be anybody.
Who are
but,
those people? You said that in the most adorable voice.
but you're in
with such respect. Or piffle.
twat waffle. You're saying it, though, as if nobody can believe in this flag.
Can you?
I picture nobody who listens to our show could believe in this flag. Like, where in our show does it kind of align with that?
Right.
I remember we did the Pride, whatchamacallit, the poll. It's like same-sex marriage or same-sex relationships, are they bad? One person said no.
Right.
Because who's going to listen to this show and be like opposing to LGBT rights?
Unless you own the General Lee. Because that'd be a shame if you'd have to paint over that. It's what it is. But other than that, you take down the flag. Come
But
on.
even if you own the General
Didn't
Lee,
they take it down?
Yeah, in states are now taking it down. Alabama, Mississippi is in talks of changing their state flag. That's going to be a tough one because the Confederate flag is in the corner of the state flag. It's
the
part
quarter.
of the flag.
It's so silly.
Yeah.
Like a little pop-up ad?
Yeah. Virginia.
Should jackasses. Yeah, just change it.
Right, Virginia. They're changing it now. Their license plates. You had to have the Confederate flag on a government license plate.
Really?
that's 2, Virginia. That's 2 just for this episode.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
insane. I
So
didn't know
they
that.
are changing that, and I mean it's weird to know that without exaggeration, we have places in this country that have segregated proms. That's insane.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
You know what, though? 400 years of slavery. 400 years that we didn't even consider these people to be people.
Right.
Then when they finally got rights, they were 2/3 of a person.
So disgusting.
Right? Was that the math on it? They were like a percentage of a
Like,
person.
who crunched the numbers on
Right.
that also? It's just like,
Right.
it's so bizarre and disgusting.
We
But
like-
wanna
also,
see
just
my work?
imagining them figuring it out. Yeah.
right.
So I've done the math, and here's what we came up with. Like, yeah, did some people vote on that fraction?
They're like, hey, I have the math right here. You guess what a black person is worth. You take a guess. It'll be a fun game. The answer was 2/3.
So insane.
We were talking about the 2 escaped men and they found that they visited a cabin in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
And
That was owned by some of the COs, right?
happened to be owned by some of the guards, so I don't know if they're laughing in the guard's face or another guard is in on it somehow.
Yeah, they just arrested another guard.
Yeah, they arrested the guard we talked about the other day that's in prison that helped facilitate, these tools
And
as
also
a means of escape, supposedly.
And also slept with them.
No, this is a guy.
Oh, okay.
The woman slept with him.
Sorry.
And she said she put tools in meat and then told this guard who had more access who had access to the cells, she doesn't, hey, can you give, we're friends, I make baked goods for you. Do me a favor and give this meat to this, who obviously I'm fucking, something weird's going on.
To this prisoner.
To these prisoners. And so he would do it. He says he didn't know the tools were in the meat, but he didn't run the meat through a metal detector, which you would always do. So so he
Did he get and so he got arrested.
So now they're looking into him. Yeah.
It's funny, and I don't know why I didn't think about this until after we recorded the last show. Do you remember growing up in all of the cartoons or in everything that has to do, like when they bring up prison and prison breaks, there was always a file in the cake?
Mm-hmm.
This is the weapon in the food.
Yeah.
They are being completely stereotypical.
You're right. It is kind of hack.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it works apparently. So I think we're going to go back to that now.
I'm so into that. It's all. I love like crime stories. It's
Right.
fascinating. I'm really into forensic files too. I watch like an unstable amount of forensic files.
Yeah,
Oh my God, I watch a lot of interviews of murderers. Like,
Me too.
I want to know.
Murder. I
Yeah.
can't get enough of it.
I mean, I
I
could
think it's
pretty-
because it makes you feel like an amazing person. If you watch a few Law and Orders back to back,
Right.
you'll really think you're running just a nice tight ship in your life.
I feel like I can understand everyone's behavior generally. Like you run
Yeah.
into someone like, oh, you're a jackass, but you just had this kind of day or this kind of upbringing.
You can
or like,
relate, yeah.
Yeah. So there's something that I understand, but murdering, I can't get into your brain about that. And so I'm just watching like all
Yeah.
these like real interviews of how do you feel about it after? Why did you do it? What did you think after? And mostly, you know what? It's just mental illness. So.
Yeah, a lot of it is mental illness, but then some of it's sociopaths, but they're conscious. They know what they're doing, so they're not technically mentally ill, but they just don't care.
But that is a mental illness.
Yeah, but I mean,
Sociopath?
yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah,
It's
that's
not-
a mental illness. But I mean, some of them aren't like certifiably. I mean, they're not crazy. They know what they're doing.
Right.
They want to murder people. So
You
I guess it depends on how you think about mental illness. But like,
I think that is a mental illness, but it's, when we say mental illness, we think like, oh, that's a forgivable trait. It's not forgivable. It's something that needs to be,
Right.
worked on. And
so legally they wouldn't be insane, but yes, they have mental illnesses. But then, I
Yes.
mean, anybody has a mental illness.
Yes.
But I mean, like you could say depression is a mental illness.
Yes.
So they're not just crazy, all of them. They very much know what they want to do, which makes it more exciting.
But just because you know it doesn't mean you're not crazy. I think that in order to kill someone, you have to at least be temporarily crazy, because the difference in mindset, in the social behavior and the social construct that we already have, you have to cross a line that turns you crazy even for a moment. Or you're drunk on drugs and something happened.
Yeah, I mean, some of it is just, evil, crazy, like whatever. I don't know. It's hard. It's interesting to think about. But there's this guy named John Douglas, and I'm obsessed with this book he wrote, this book called Mindhunter. And he's like the guy they based Silence of the Lambs after.
Okay.
And he's a criminal profiler. And I'm so interested in criminal profiling. It's like the most fascinating thing ever. So he like got some of the biggest serial killers, ever. I mean, he was helped to get them to be arrested. He's like the top profiler ever. And he was able to look at crime scene photos. One of the chapters is just like he looked at a series of crime scene photos, and he said, looking at the photos, the killer has a lisp. Like he could do things like that, and he was correct. He said he drives a dark blue Volkswagen Beetle, which is like the #1 serial killer car or something like that. I might be getting this wrong, but I think I'm right. That's what he says. Like it's a common murder car, if not serial killer. So he's like, he drives a Beetle of this color. He's between these ages. He lives with his dad. He has these issues with him. Has a lisp.
He could tell that from photos.
That was his guess. That's what he wrote up in his profile. He's like, he has a lisp or some sort of physical affectation that he's self-conscious about. And he said it because of how he approached the victim. So he says he reenacts the crime from the victim's perspective and the killer's perspective, thinking about what the killer would be conscious of, what they'd be nervous about, what their issues would be based on looking at so many crimes and seeing how they would approach, And he got it right so many times. That particular time, he was correct. Sometimes he'd be off about one thing, but a lot of times he'd also get their cars correctly, which is just insane to me.
What if he's just throwing out a lot of stuff and we only remember the stuff he hits? Like, and he's eating a fruit salad right now, and they're like, you know what? We arrested him, and we saw an apple core in the sink.
Well, the interesting thing about a profile is that it's not like a psychic where you can fuck with somebody. Right. I mean, you have to write it up and deliver it. So, your profile needs to be, close, and they're off and off on certain details. I mean, but so he'd get a case, and he would write up a profile and then send it to them. It's not like when you talk to somebody and you're like, you seem like you've always wanted to be more famous than you are. Like, or just something everybody feels or something.
Is there someone important to you that starts with the letter D? I'm seeing a D for some reason.
In the beginning or the end or a middle or near the end of a word.
Oh, I have
it somewhere else in your room. Is it in your room? Is there a D in your room somewhere?
I have a rash on my D. Does that count?
And that's complete bullshit. But they use this guy and they need him in like pinch situations. And he describes the difference between why it's not clairvoyance. He goes through so many crimes that, he's able to put himself in that mindset and see what might be going on with that person. And you begin to believe in yourself so much that your instincts get really sharpened, But anyway.
You can't pull anything over on him, huh?
Yeah, I mean, he's not gotten everyone right, but I mean, he's developed some of the best profilers to help catch the people, and they've been completely correct. And I wish I could do that. It's so awesome, right? Just to be able to profile somebody that fast. But
when he does his profile, does he put it with the day's paper in the lockbox?
You know what he should do? He should, oh my God, on his off time, if he wants extra money, like bring your boyfriend by, and I'll tell you if he's an asshole or not.
I know, right? I could see so many ways you could pay profilers just to check somebody out, because he notices, like he says, you have to be able to notice so many things about somebody all at once. I'm sure he'd profile me and just see like what a complete mess I am. Like there'd be no sinister things he could uncover. It would just be like, yeah, you're a mess.
He sees you and he goes, oh
dear.
Boy.
Yeah.
He probably sees you and goes, you probably think you're a mess.
But so anyway, when we were at that MTV thing, I was talking to everybody. Okay, so we're on the set and I kept making the same mistake, like with my entrance. I was supposed to come in and open my gourds and squashes in my trench coat, and I kept like fucking up the entrance. And I was doing this thing.
What would you do? You're
Well, it was like the way I was supposed to walk in at a certain point. It was like too far or not enough. It was a little confusing, And then the more I fucked up, the more I'd be in your head. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And the more lovely people would be like impatient with me, the worse I get. I don't do well with that when someone's just like, okay, can we get you? And then I just feel even crazier. Right. So I don't care for the gentle warmth, that people try to give you when you're fucking up.
Rachel, stop fucking up.
Yeah, exactly. It's close face screaming works better for me. Yeah. But anyway, so I was just having one of those days, and then we took like a break. And I was talking about Mindhunter to some people by the craft services table. So I was really killing it again. I was just getting my power back and doing pretty well. And so I was telling everybody that story because I'm obsessed with it, about the killer had a lisp. I had everyone like just where I wanted. They're very good. A lot of questions. I really felt like I was killing it. And then I made a complete ass out of myself. So there was like 4 or 5 people listening to me kind of intently. And then I was
they
like,
were
I
the
declared
killers.
It was one of the...
You didn't even know.
Exactly. And then I declared it was like one of the best books that I've ever read, that I've read a lot of articles on this guy and how fascinating he is. And then, so someone said to me, oh, what's it called? And I was like, I don't know. Like my brain was just like, fuck you, like shut down, which happens to me all the time. And it's like, I fucking know. I've read this book a million times. My brain's just like, wouldn't it be funny if this happened? Guess what a wild asshole I've made out of you right now. And I just stood there and I was like, I don't know. And I kind of laughed. And it would have been, and everybody just sort of stared at me like I was like I was a pathological liar, probably. Like I was a suspicious, strange, sad liar. And then I was just trying, like, I kept trying to remember. And it would have been so much better if they were like a few comics or something, and they would have all just been like mocked me somehow, but they all just kind of softly walked away. Everybody just kind of like gently dispersed, and I was just sitting there like, yeah. And
then you have to text them one at a time later when you find the title.
Yeah, and then one person was still standing there. This gets so much worse. I swear to God, I'm not making this up. And he just turned around, and again, that gentle when they're trying to help you, that's when I don't care for when I get worse. He goes, well, what was the guy's name, the profiler? And I was like, I don't know either. Again, my mind was like, I'm not going to give you that either. And I know the book, I know the guy, like, but that happens to me all the time and it's just like, you're on your own. This will be hilarious.
You know what you should do? Find a name for it. and be like, oh, I have like Hamfla disease. I can't even remember the name
Temporary moron, but
Ooh, put temporary in the title of the disease.
and then he dispersed too. But I thought about it. It's
He
like,
goes, where did you get the book?
yeah,
Oh, fuck, I don't know.
exactly.
I don't know.
But there's nothing they could have thought except that I'm a pathological liar. Like I made the whole thing up. I seem like a suspicious, strange liar. The person you ought to remove yourself from slowly, which is what they did. Slowly and gently removed themselves.
Is the profiler also able to fly? Okay, thank you, Rachel.
I think about this book so much, and I want to contact him and ask him if I can like interview him or something. We're trying to find a way to do it that doesn't make me seem crazy because I really want to have lunch with him and ask him some questions.
Tell that story in an email to him. And then sign it, the Prophet Muhammad.
Yeah.
I wouldn't send a picture of you, though. He's going to know you're bad shit.
I'm gonna call him. I'm gonna call his reps and I'm gonna ask them if I can have because I do a joke sort of based on something that has to do with that's gonna be in my next special. So I'm gonna say like research for my comedy. Does that sound like a good tale, guys?
Yeah, go with a lie.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of true. No, it is.
Right.
Because I was thinking about also how like he was talking in the book.
I want to do a stand-up act making fun of all this. And can I use you as research?
Well, it's interesting, like, I don't know.
You should just invite him. Like, I've been obsessed with you. I've looked stupid on more than one occasion trying to tell your story. And
you owe me.
Yeah.
I couldn't
The thing
remember.
is, he's not going to care. Like, he's like in his 60s. He's not going to care about me and my dumb
Yeah, it sounds like his life is
stand-up.
really exciting and he doesn't want to come see a stand-up special taped for Comedy Central or whatever.
I don't know, but I just don't know if those guys care about that. I don't know if fellas in their 60s want to care about it.
cares about you.
Thank
That's
you.
your inner voice.
Is that me? Is that my mom? Did my mom call? Do we have a caller?
Hi, it's me, the Queen. You'll be okay. Oh no, another horse must go. By the way, the two guys, they got to this, this house, and apparently they stole weapons.
Oh my God.
So they're armed now, if you're curious.
Oh, goody, everybody.
So keep that in mind when you're out there. Rachel Feinstein, you are a treat. You are a pleasure.
Thank you guys so much. This was so fun.
Thanks for coming out.
Thank you, baby.
Baby.
Where's One Stop Shopping? Where do people go to find out when they can see you do stand up? What's the best?
I
way
put
to play it?
most of the gigs up on Twitter at Rachel Feinstein, but you can go to my Facebook too, Rachel Feinstein fan page.
But that does not mean that you give money to everything on that timeline.
No, my mom stopped. I told her to cut the bullshit.
What do you mean you don't know these people?
So I mailed a letter to your lovely friend.
Thank you guys very much. Don't forget keithandthegirl.com/video. It's our new video feed. It's free. Subscribe, and we'll talk to you soon.
keithandthegirl.com